Hello and welcome to this video. This is a 25-10 game playing Bad Days from the US. So I'm trying to get above 2000 here, but it's tricky. Lost the game before that when my opponent played exceptionally well. So a Nimzo. Yeah, am I going to play the Samish again? Let's play e3 and see what happens. e3 and a3 is what I normally do. Yeah, nowadays people really mostly castle. They all see what the top players play and adopt that. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'm going to play against my own repertoire here with c5. Yeah, black now goes usually c5 or d5. This is a common myth that in the Nimzo you control your center with pieces. That's usually not happening. Black is just delaying his pawns occupying the center right here. You really, yeah, I think you have to play c5 or d5. Yeah, c5. So knight f3 now might lead to the Hübner variation, what I'm recommending in my book. I can also go knight e2 maybe. This line is not well. That sentence is not going to end well. It's not much in fashion at the moment. White is making sure that he can always recapture on c3 with the knight. Quite often, black now will go d5. This is by far the most common move. And then we will get an IQP position. Isolated queen's pawn. When I looked at this line for my book, I tried to figure out if there's something else that you can play, something that is not leading to the IQP. But I really couldn't find anything decent, so I think this is what black should go for. Here the move queen d5 is surprisingly interesting. It's something that I studied a little bit in my book, but this is the main line, and here knight c6 is the most common move. Even though rook e8 is also interesting, the idea is to drop the bishop back to f8 and then potentially go g6 and bishop g7 at a later stage. It looks a bit slow, but it is definitely a playable move. Knight c6, however, is the normal way to go. So a couple of options. Bishop c2 is the most popular move, and I'm trying this, angling for queen d3. There's also bishop e4, for example, or moves like a3. Yeah, it's a very flexible position where many ideas are possible. So we'll see what he's going to play. I like the move rook e8 here again, trying to put the bishop all the way back. But it's not something that is forced or anything. Black can try a couple of things. There's also a move like knight back to f6, covering h7. Yeah, I'd probably go rook e8 here. Black will normally play with g6 in case of a queen d3 move. This bishop on c2 is is blunted by g6. So how are we going to play this? Black will drop back to f8, threatening knight to b4. So probably, it's an interesting question. I would like to go with something like queen g3 and maybe trying to play h4 and so on, but not sure about it. Maybe lending some support to the d pawn is helpful. Also, in case of black moving this knight from d5, the rook on d1 supports the central breakthrough. I'm not sure about my bishop on c2. Now that I have provoked this this g6 move, it's really not that clear that the bishop is that great there. For example, you could argue that it is better placed on b3, or something like queen f3, bishop e4 might also come to mind. Yeah, he probably has my book there and is looking at the lines. Okay, so I'm going a3 here, preventing knight to b4, a move that I have to play almost in any case. So bishop g7. Yeah, something that looked interesting to me is queen g3 here, trying to play h4, h5. I wonder if that is an idea. It definitely is. I'm just not sure if it is any good. Okay, let's try that. Also maybe bishop g5 at the right moment. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that black's position is okay here. But what can you do? I have to try some kind of line with white and see what happens. He's playing this exactly like black should play this. It's kind of the best possible setup, and also I think a good move order that he chose there. Knight c6, rook e8, g6 looks very, very refined. Let's see there. Is this a new account? Oh, his 5-minute rating is really bad, but 15-minute is quite okay. Yeah, some people simply are hopeless at blitz speeds and need a little bit more time to think. This kind of account with like 1200 in 5-minute and 1800 in 15-minute. This is something that you see more often than you might think. For example, among my students, there are a number of people who really are not able to play any decent blitz games, let alone bullet games, but they can play pretty well in 15-minute, or like here, even longer time controls, like 25-10 or 30-minute per game or so. So this is indeed possible. Some people are just not not made for the quick moves, and sometimes those blitz games are simply decided on mouse speed and good nerves, and quite often people get good positions but they lack those skills and then spoil their efforts, all the invested time and good moves down the drain. Okay, so let's see what black does here. A common idea for black is to play something like knight takes c3, b takes c3, and then e5, breaking up the center and opening up the c8 bishop, even though here it would be a bit frustrating if that is possible, because I just played the rook to d1 a couple of moves ago, which should make it more difficult to play e5, really. Another idea that often is played is knight e7, knight c6 to e7, and possibly to f5. It's also something that makes quite some sense. I swear he's not hearing me. Okay. Well, knight f5. If I take it, e takes f, knight d5. The d pawn is passed. I'm not quite sure if knight f5 is really a move to fear or not. Knight f4 also looks interesting. Well, he can take c3 probably. It doesn't lead to anything special. Bishop g5. Yeah, there's a couple of interesting moves that can be tried. Currently, I'm really not in a position to push my d pawn anytime soon. Would be a good idea. Or h4. That was my original intention. But after h4, knight f5, I will definitely have to take on f5. And I'm not sure that this is any good. Bishop f5, ef, knight d5, queen d5. I don't really believe much in this position for me. Well, maybe the d pawn is indeed quite good. Knight c3, possibly d5, bishop f4. After h4, knight f5, bishop f5, ef, knight d5, there's also rook takes e2. Very weird move, but it is maybe possible. Knight c7, however, yeah, knight c7, rook b8. Yeah, that looks wrong. That looks wrong for black. Going into this discovery, bishop f4 and so on. Okay, come on, let's go h4. Always a bit difficult to play basically against your own openings. And in this case, it really is kind of my own opening, with the book having yeah, when I studied this for the book, it really it took a long time to look at everything. So he can of course just play something like b6 or so, and just await proceedings with h5. That f5 looks very principled, though. Yeah, knight f5 or b6. Those moves look logical, really. Maybe knight takes c3, but somehow that doesn't fit well with knight to e7. Played on the move before. Yeah, b6, yeah, that's also a possibility. trying to complete development, but I don't know, that looks slow. Knight f5 is the most principled move. That one, okay, so probably he wants to put it on c6 and does not want to go b6. Okay. That's a case of having said A. You should probably say B, so h5. One reason why h5 or h4, h5 and then taking on g6 is interesting is that after the h pawns have been traded, a move like bishop g5 cannot easily be answered by f6, because then g6 would be very weak. That's a big difference to the position with the h pawns still being in existence. Here, after bishop g5, it's tricky for black to get out of that pin. Okay, can move the queen, of course, but you don't get rid of that bishop easily. So, is it bishop c6 now? Yeah, looks very, very logical. Here knight f5 is not even on. Taking ed, there's the knight hanging. Now maybe you can do it. E2 is also hanging, but that is a very weird idea. So I don't really expect knight f5 to happen. An interesting point might be that I can also go h6. In some cases, a pawn going all the way up on the 6th rank can be very annoying, setting up all kinds of back rank issues and issues relating to the fact that black's king is very limited by a pawn on h6. Even though normally I would just say take it and be happy that we have weakened the king position a little bit. After a move like h6 and bishop h8 or so, it's not quite clear how white continues. Yeah, weird, but he plays it anyway. So I take here, right? Is there? Well, let's think about it. Bishop f5, g takes, there's h6 and black resigns. So, is he really going to play bishop f5 ef and play on that weird tactic, knight d5, rook takes e2? That's really weird. I have bishop g5, by the way. That's an interesting fact. Okay, I'm going to take. Or is he playing knight e2? That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. That's really a possibility. Yeah, knight takes c3. This is definitely going to be played. Nah, I don't know. Definitely is strong, but it's what I expect. If he takes with the e-pawn, knight d5, rook e2, bishop g5. Okay, so he's now threatening knight takes e2. So, well, okay, bishop d3, but the rook is also hanging. So I have to take It's actually not completely clear how I should take. Pawn takes is possible. Pawn takes, e takes f5. But I don't really see a great continuation then. The good thing, now I'm going to play this here, let's not waste time. The good thing about this move is that now bishop g5 is really a bit annoying. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play it. Bishop f6, there is taking and knight d5, which feels really wrong for black, with knight c7 being on the cards. What is he going to play now? f6 looks damn ugly. And there's knight d5 ideas, like queen b6, knight d5. Yeah, is f6 going to be played? f6, I don't think I have a tactic like h takes g6. I probably just have to move the bishop. And after a bishop move, the g6 pawn seems like an issue. Yeah, maybe still. f6, bishop f4, g5, this kind of thing. Probably has to do something like that. I don't see anything great. f6, bishop f4, g5. It might be might be playable. I mean, at least from a tactical point of view. Bishop c7, even f4 is a move. Anyway, I didn't have much choice, so I don't need to second guess myself here. Yeah, after f6, do I really have some choice where to go? Bishop e3, bishop e3, and then really g5, huh? It looks bad, but maybe it just happens. Don't really see anything super great after f6. Let's say bishop e3, g5. Hey, threatening f4. Yeah? h6. Seems also weird. I'm not quite sure where I'm going after f6. I don't really like the idea of going to d2. f6, bishop e3, g5, f4. Is that something? It looks wrong somehow, but it doesn't really help how things look like. They have to be good. And that's the only thing that counts. It's really something that computers have taught us, that the appearance of moves sometimes doesn't really matter much. Sometimes really weird looking moves can be strong if there's a concrete justification for it. Yeah, and he went f6. I don't really know where to go. Bishop e3, g5. It's really not that great. Bishop f4, g5, bishop c7, even f4 is a move. Bishop d8, f takes g3, and black is probably better. Okay, I think probably to d2, yeah? I don't really see any point of going to e3 and stumbling into d5. G5, I'm sorry. Very weird. So, what now? I was thinking d5 maybe. Yeah, let's do this. And let's not waste lots of time here. This is my only substantial asset there, the d-pawn. Even though black's king position is definitely not great there. With this f6 g5 business. But I'm not in a position to get a quick attack going, so cannot expect some big kingside attack anytime soon. How do I get my pieces improved though? Knight and bishop are not doing that much. Yeah, knight is somewhat okay there. The bishop on d2 is just not right. Okay, he's going f4. Yeah, bishop g4 is probably one idea. Something like queen c8 threatening bishop g4. Anyway, I have to go to f3. There's not much else, I guess. Something like queen d3, there was bishop g4 immediately. Maybe you can even go f5 here, activating the g7 bishop. How do I get knight and bishop activated? Those pieces are really bad. Can I somehow get the knight, let's say, to d4 and bishop to c3? Something like knight e2, yeah? But it runs into g4 things. Knight e2, bishop c3, knight d4, this kind of thing. Yeah, I expected this. Yeah. Bishop g4 is a very annoying idea. I wonder if h6 is something to consider. h6, possibly knight e4, but he always has the direct bishop g4. will be difficult to keep that pawn. Or the exchange, for that matter, with bishop g4. Okay, I think I'm going d6 here. I don't know. I have to make a move at some point. I mean, to be perfectly honest, this guy is rated 1100 in 5 minutes, which means like a little bit more than knowing the rules of chess. So if he just outplays me in a 25-minute game, all the power to him. But there should be some kind of bad move coming once in a while. So let's see what happens. Bishop g4, queen d3, bishop d1. I've got d7. That was an idea of this. And possibly knight to d5. Bishop g4, knight, queen d5, queen e6. d7 is not so convincing. He can even go rook d8. So bishop g4, I will go queen d3. Being ready for d7. And knight d5 as mentioned. So going here. So what is he going to do? Rook d8. Rook d8. I don't know. Just rook e1 then, or knight d5 is also looking quite powerful. Queen to d7. Is there some kind of h6 related idea? Or should I just play like rook e1 and get rid of the attack on my rook on d1? Okay, I mean, I don't mind him that much to take the rook. But, I'd like to go knight d5, but queen d6 is just going to happen. Tricky. Doesn't seem so convincing here. I mean, something like h6, he really probably just takes. And it doesn't feel like I've got anything great there. Maybe knight e4 then. Some knight e4 could be interesting. Knight e4 immediately. Probably just bishop h5. h6, bishop takes, knight e4, then bishop c3. also is not really convincing. He can play all kinds of moves. Just back to g7 probably. Knight c5, and he can take d1. That's another little issue, but not quite sure if this is really the issue. I can play all kinds of moves. That's really difficult to evaluate. As mentioned, knight d5, there's queen d6 simply, and nothing great happens. At least I don't see it. Maybe h6, bishop takes knight d5, and then bishop c3. Okay, I have to play a move at some point here. Difficult, very difficult to play this. This is very calculation heavy. So he's going to take that, I guess. Then knight d5 was my idea, with the tempo, and then bishop c3. Activating those pieces. Bishop d1, h takes g7 should be good compensation. Maybe this is not the case. I mean, bishop d1, h takes g6, bishop back to h5 or so. Would be very cold-blooded, but possible. I was thinking bishop h6, knight d5, queen d6, bishop c3, threatening knight takes f6. Or is he playing just rook d8 or something like that on this? Yeah, very sharp position. If he takes d1, I mean, I can try to just recapture. Bishop d1, rook d1, bishop h6. Yeah, maybe knight d5, but that doesn't look so convincing. Bishop d1, h takes g7 is probably better. Yeah, that's probably the better choice. But I expect him to play bishop h6 really. I'm going to stop the video just briefly. Okay, I'm back. He took on h6. Just had to drink something and I didn't want to have my gulps there on video. I had something really spicy for dinner and I needed some water real badly. So knight d5, bishop g7, and now I thought bishop c3 actually, but well, he can take on d1. Knight c7 is also possible. Just trying to get an exchange back, yeah, so that only the h pawn got lost in the process. Maybe that's not such a bad idea. Knight c7, bishop d1, rook d1. I still have the d pawn, and his king position is not exactly ideal. Bishop c3, bishop d1, rook d1, and rook e6. Is that going to be enough? Okay, I have knight c7. It doesn't feel like it should be enough. Okay. Let's do this trading business in a way. So I just go rook d1 here. He cannot escape this anyway. This fork. So I'm really a pawn down. The h pawn got lost, but the d pawn is dangerous. Maybe I should have played queen d5. I know, he has got queen f7. Okay. Yeah, okay, he's going to return the exchange. There's no way around that, I guess. Question is how. Queen g4, is that a move? No, I don't think so. Okay, so here, is there any point in queen d5 or queen c4, stuff like that? No, it isn't. So I'm going to take before he secures this. And now, what is he going to do? Rook e6 maybe, or something? Okay, bishop c3 looks like the normal move here. Or anything else. I think bishop c3. It just looks very, very natural to do that. Bishop is bad on d2. I want to support the d pawn. I don't think that bishop a5 or bishop b4 can be better. Yeah. Okay, queen d5 would be a good move if it would be my move here. Queen d5, queen f7, d7. That looks very strong. I wonder, a move like rook e6 maybe. I can go queen to f5. No, rook e1 check. Oops. That's not going to work. So queen d5 maybe. The idea, queen d5, the idea is to threaten queen e6. Queen e6, d7. If I go queen d5, is he going to go bishop f8? Then bishop takes f6. Yeah, that must be good for white. king f8. But now I can take, right? Take and d7. How is he stopping me from promoting? I guess he isn't. Takes, d7 and touchdown, right? No checks. Yeah. Very tough game. I think I really don't think I was in good shape there. I don't know, it didn't feel right. This g5 f4 happening to me, and I don't know, I didn't like the position. Can almost pre-move that. Can you? Probably, yeah. If d8 queen is a legal move, you can probably play it.
Black resigns.
That was a tough game. So let's go back a little bit. Here, it's a fairly normal opening position, as mentioned. Okay, I tried this thing, trying to go for h4, h5. He played this, certainly normal. I went h4 and he went bishop d7. Yeah, I was expecting this move, and I wasn't sure at all, but I thought that this might be interesting for me, something like this, and then trying to play for the d pawn. A move that I didn't really take into account is this one, now given by Stockfish. h5. The engine gives equal, but this is a position that, well, it might be equal, but it's also very unbalanced, let's say. With the d pawn, black's got the bishop pair. It's a very, very unclear situation. I don't think that black can be in really bad shape here. Position feels very solid for him. He played bishop d7. I went h5, and now he went knight f5. Takes. That has to be played. E takes was interesting. Very weird idea, but it might be on. Knight d5, rook e2. This is not trapping anything. I was thinking maybe bishop g5 is a move in this position, but okay, it didn't happen, but this was what I was thinking during the game. Very unclear position. This happened, knight takes, e takes. Yeah, this of course is not possible. So here, and I went bishop g5. Yeah, and with hindsight, I'm not quite sure about this. I really didn't look so much at f6. I was mostly thinking about this move, and after that I'm much better with knight c7 coming. I wasn't sure if I win the exchange, but the computer basically confirms that. So he had to play f6 anyway, but I really underestimated this. Going back, and he went g5. Yeah, and this is not clear at all. I mean, this looks strange somehow, this pawn formation, but what am I going to do about it? The computer is on 000 or something around this. It wants to go queen f3, d5. Is that possibly really a mistake? Take. Now the engine gives moves like h6 and then f5 or f5 immediately. Yeah, I think f5 was the move that I also mentioned, but ultimately didn't happen. Also bishop f5 is a good move, with maybe queen d7 coming. Yeah, I think black is okay. The d-pawn, I mean, okay, more than okay. Yeah, black is better. The d-pawn is not really going anywhere. and he can use the bishops nicely if he gets in f5 somehow. I also like bishop f5 here with this kind of idea. It's funny that the engine gives g4 here. That's a move that I probably would not have considered. It looks especially weird if black just goes back and threatens this. I think this is a rubbish move. Black is fine here, but I suspect that this also shouldn't be bad. No, at least not immediately. Yeah, rook e1 is given by the engine, and d6 is not the top choice. Yeah, rook e1 of course was the maybe you can say conservative move, but I felt that pushing the pawn should be interesting to try. If he goes here now,
Check.
I can take. So bishop g4 is not possible. I don't think I even saw that during the game. I just felt that rook e1 is kind of slow and I wanted to push it. Bishop g4. Very normal looking move. Engine gives bishop c6. That I didn't really think about. Yeah, but certainly not bad, bishop c6. Okay, this happened. I played queen d3. And now, of course, he cannot take on d1. This looks very logical in a way. Also one of the computer's top choices. And now the engine wants to play knight e4. Here I really was unsure. Ultimately settling for h6. Trying to dislodge this bishop there from g7. Engine wants to go with this. Probably also introducing this kind of possibility in some cases. It's a different way of dropping the h-pawn. Very unclear. This is even possible.
Check.
Funny way to draw. Okay, h6. And black took this, which looks very normal. But bishop d1, yeah, this is suspected to be more critical. And now interesting, I think I would have taken on g7. The engine gives rook d1. Is this bad then? Takes bishop h5. Knight d5. This was something that I was thinking about. I just got rook e6 here. Yeah, that's true. Or this move maybe. Queen e6. Yeah. Maybe it really is better than to take here. I wasn't sure. I think I would have taken on g7, but this might be stronger. The engine is giving equal, funny enough. With the very, it even gave king h8. A very intuitive move. Merp. Okay, takes. And now black can return stuff.
Check. Check.
For equality. Surprisingly, Stockfish is always around 0, 0.2, 0.3 for one side. Bishop h6 and now knight d5. Yeah, and now the engine gives me a pretty substantial advantage. Maybe I had the right hunch there. Bishop g7, knight c7. Yeah, exactly the game. And I had the feeling that this should be good with my d-pawn, but I wasn't totally sure. Takes. Rook c1. No, that's a move I did not see. Rook c1 wins for rook c7. Really, is that strong? That's remarkable. Why is it that strong? So I went here. Rook c1. So let's say rook e6. Ah yeah, bishop b4 and this. It's just, I'm just doing it without any tactics. Just cover that and then rook c7. Yeah, that's very strong. Now, rook c1 wasn't on my agenda at all. The engine ultimately gives stuff like that. Yeah, this is great for white. Got this pawn, can go d7 under the right circumstances, b6 is weak. So this is a bad move. It gives away most of my advantage. Even though the engine still gives me like one pawn. And after queen d5 I'm winning, right? Yeah, I'm winning. King f7 is tougher though. This is what I expected. And then bishop b4 is good. Keeping this, and now rook e1. Yeah, that ultimately wins a piece. Black is so tied down here, doesn't have anything better than bishop b6. If he plays something like this,
check.
I can go here and win pretty easily. So this is happening, and white is a piece up. Still need a little bit of technical play here, but it should win. It should win, I guess. Some cases 2 pawns for a piece is not that clear, but this should be a win. So he went there, and after queen e6, this is a touchdown for the d pawn. Yeah, tough battle. He really put up a good resistance there. Very good game here by bad days. Ultimately, he ran into this. He committed this mistake. Also, when the time was ticking down, and this is maybe a reason why he's not higher rated in 5-minute chess. Some people really have this problems if the clock gets down really low, that they tend to make big mistakes, blunders, and this is why they're better in 15 or 30-minute chess than in blitz chess. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.